Yo, welcome to a Xtv Discussions live in this bitch. They want me to be the main host. This is interesting. Oh man, yo, but look, this Jazzmar Jones chilling with my man Mac Anthony in the building, and we got Pain. That's right, man. We got the best. Yup. And we got Big Trunks Thematic, and there's gonna be a few others coming in and out. You know what I mean? On this XTV Discussions forum. This series first started in 2013. You know what I mean? During the Great Depression era, if you wanna call it that, in XTV. You know what I'm saying? We didn't really have nothing to really do, so shit, we just said, look, let's just talk about past events. You know what I mean? And we really touched on current events of that time period, 2013, because, again, it was a depressing time, so that's why this was brought up. You know what I mean? Out of that, and the shit took on a life of its own. Yeah, man, I mean, I think we first talked about what we first talked about. I think we talked about the stuff that we lost. You know what I mean? That was, and from depression. Now we thinking about older times, stuff that we lost, and regrets and all that, and that come from depression, man. I mean, I've been to that stage many times. Just you get to this one point in life, and you're like, damn. I wouldn't have been here if I did this, if I did that, if I did this. What can I do now? Oh, it ain't nothing to do. I ain't got no damn money. You know. So, uh, that's interesting that that's the first one. But before we continue with it, we ain't depressed, nigga. Like, we ain't sad. We doing this cause, it's an interesting topic. And on top of all that, you know, the Cosby Show tough. You know what I'm saying? As we always say. And nigga, this is like really hard. But we just taking a little break from it, and not trying to work stressed out on something that we really, want to be real dope for y'all. So, we just taking a little brief intermission. Shit, we been working on that shit since forever. We can take, I don't know, however long this recording gonna be. But the topic we gonna discuss today is Big Trunks. You know what I mean? It just seemed like a lot of people say he fell off, athletically. You know what I'm saying? In my opinion, I don't never think he was one of the best athletes. You know what I'm saying? I just think that he was just one of them people, like sort of like a mid Carter. I think what Trunks is truly known for is his voice and the things. Oh, what up, Grandpa Joe? Hey there, Matt, get a chair for him. Oh, my bad. Now let me just sit in your chair. Oh, I'm gonna sit in your chair cause it's warm. Miss Mary May. Just gonna sit in my shit, y'all. I was comfortable. I'll give me another. How you doing, sugar? You look so good now, Jazz. you look good. Your skin bright. Hey, Pain, let me get her hair there. Let me see you so baby. Let me see you. Yeah, it has been a while now. It has been a long time. Man, it's been long. Okay, God bless you. What we're discussing now. Yo, Trunks, you ain't even said nothing. I don't even think you said nothing when I introduced you. I'm here. You know, y'all talking about my downfall. But what you was saying, Jazz? Now, I was just saying, I never looked at you as one of the top athletes. I think you just always had the voice, you know what I'm saying, of XTV West. You was that voice for us for a while, you know what I'm saying? To me, it's kind of like the situation with DMX, you know what I'm saying? Like, he was one of the dopest rappers, and he was the voice of hip hop for like a long fucking time, you know what I'm saying? But like, I think once people noticed the drugs was influenced, and he had mental disorders as well, and I think people just kind of let somebody else be that voice, you know what I mean? And they turn his shit off. And I say that, because Killer came out of nowhere and just kind of took it. Well, 90 did first, and then the Killer. I think it was a number of people that took the voice of XTV. I still feel I am the voice of XTV. I just think that my thoughts uh not thoroughly thought out, a whole lot. And I will admit this on this, discussions that, a lot of things that I do, they don't make sense. And I just kind of just go and do it, you know what I mean? And it's just, honestly, when you are very talented, it's not something you got to truly think about. It just come out, and when I was doing my thing for however long y'all want to say, I was doing it, um, I was on fire. I would just open my mouth and magic would come out. Like it wasn't something I thought about. It wasn't something in my heart. I mean, no. It was something in my heart, and it was what I truly felt. And it just came out. If that shit said record and it said my turn to talk, I was just gonna talk. And it wasn't something like I said I thought about, and as a result though, like people loved it. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, damn, I ain't even gotta think. I ain't even gotta try almost. You know what I'm saying? It's like I just had a magic mouth almost. And I just let my mouth do the talking. And I guess times changed. And I continued to let my mouth just do that, and it started to backfire. You know what I'm saying? And very crazy ways. Some successful, but as time wore on, I think that my mouth got me into a lot of trouble. I just talk a lot of shit. That's what a lot of people's issue with you is, though, Trunks, is you talk a lot of shit. We've been through a lot of shit. I have the right to talk a lot of shit, I feel, because of most of what I've been through, in my life. The shit with Grandpa Joe, pain, and all the stuff I've been through. That's truly where some of what I say come from. You know what I'm saying? And it's not always right, and it's not always the most right thing to say at that point. But it's just how it is. And so would you say that now you still that same way? You don't think before you speak. You just kind of just let out and let whatever you feel just go out. Yes, Jazz, but not all the time. I still think about what I say. What's this in my pocket? Oh, I still think about what I say. Well, I now think about what I say, you know, because I've seen the trouble it has gotten me in, and you say athletic wise, I definitely agree to that too. I mean, I never been the top tier athlete, if you will. I just always been, you know, okay. Like I don't know if you want to consider me mid card, maybe. I was good. I used to beat Bobby ass a whole lot. Bob always forget that I used to whoop his ass all the time on their reckoning, but it is what it is. We got the fucking proof. You know what I'm saying? But it's like the thing is, man, I just was alright for what I did. And the funny part is I never was supposed to be an athlete, which is what I wanted to touch on. I mean, you ain't never did this shit. Your first match was like probably with Justin back in the sides era. Yeah, and even then, though, like that was a gimmick. That wasn't a real match. That wasn't something that was going on. And me and Justin was like, look, man, we gonna put on a classic. Like it was just something funny. It's like a damn, I don't know, Santino Morella versus Lego. Lego, nigga. See, I can't think. Yo. It's like just something stupid, you know what I mean, to get the kids and the audience laughing or whatever. It was that type of shit, you know. I think me and your feud though, like our fights was, pretty good. But athletic wise, best that was just some hardcore shit. I just hit your ass over the head with a casket, and yo, I'm getting a text. I'm sorry. It's from Killer. He say y'all match wasn't nothing but a fake ass Qua Anderson. Who was Qua Anderson? And Tommy Dreamer. Like yo, I don't know what this shit talking about, but you know. Maybe LT or somebody can help me with that, you know. Yeah. Yeah, man. I just always thought that y'all feud was just good for that extreme, you know what I'm saying, type of shit. And then you move over to the Day of Reckoning years where you was D-Matic and you had your finisher, that neck breaking shit, you know. That's when it was just about being a brawler. You know, you got to understand my styles always changed. It was like, when I first started with Best, that was, well, when I first started around the time, the Sides era with Justin, that was just me and him, that was goofy, that was funny, that was a joke, Then the extreme shit with me and Best. And then the third, I'm a brawler, you know what I mean? And that's just what I was. I was just a brawler. I used to beat people's ass. And that's just what it was. Like, it wasn't supposed to be the best athletic shit. It was just supposed to be I'm good for what I do and I kick ass. You know, Bad News Brown. That's who I would compare my style to. Back then it's like I'm not like the audience don't really like me or like that. And don't know me like that. But I'm still there. I exist, motherfucker. Yo. And then you get to the King Kong suit era when I was kicking ass and people was talking about putting me as far as athlete of the year and all that, putting me in conversation as far as top tier athlete. And with that, man, I remember that King Kong era. I mean, you just turned it up like a whole lot cause previously I was the athlete and the voice, you know what I mean? Me being the pain, I was just Diddy Kong, I was a joke, and then the boxing shit, people took me serious, but once the crack and all that stuff, yeah, all that got exposed, you know what I mean? People stopped taking me serious. They looked at me as a crackhead, as a ignorant motherfucker that's just spewing his ignorance on, wax or whatever the fuck. And that's just what it was with me, man. And you just took my spotlight out of nowhere. Trying to bite this nail, sorry. You fucking that nail up. But anyway, man, that's exactly what it was. You just took it, and I mean, I just took it. I just took your whole thing, and it was so crazy because many times, Super Duper Tony B has tried to get, me over. He tried to just have it me. Like he tried it with the Spy of Kong. That was just supposed to be me. And even with the, to some extent, the Mario Kart shit with MZ, who just came in. What's up, man? What's good, dog? And Faz, what's up? What's up, good? What's up, good? Hey. Oh, that's my text message. Killer says, I hear you. But what's up? Yeah, I mean, what I was saying? Oh yeah, the Super Mario Kart shit with me, that was supposed to be like you touched the shit out of yourself. That nigga said me, damn. But yeah, like he was always trying to get me over, and it never worked, and it ain't worked to FNK. That's all I was saying. Shit. All I was gonna say was that chocolate tastes good with that peanut butter. So yeah, man. I mean, and it wasn't into FNK, and how was it having all that spotlight on you? It was difficult, man. Like I finally got what I wanted. You know, a break away from my family because, truth be told, doing the whole Donkey Kong, and you gotta understand. Like I want to put this out there. If I can, these XTV discussions go all over the place. We really supposed to be discussing my athletic career, and that's pretty much it. However, this shit, that's why it's called discussions, because we discuss a topic, but a whole bunch of other different shit happened, and a whole bunch of random people that super duper actually forgot to put in the room earlier just came in the room. You know what I mean? So it's little shit like that. But during the time with me being successful with pain, I felt joy, being successful. Us being little kids watching Keenan and Kel or whoever the fuck we was watching on TV, and then finally being in that spotlight. But it wasn't what it was cracked up to be, because I wasn't the main focus. You know what I mean? It was me and him, which was cool because we both got that chance. But then it just became all about him. What about me? What about Big Trunks? And that pissed me off, man. You know what I'm saying? Because it was like, we came in this shit together. He's a different person because of the fame, and the drugs and shit getting involved with him. And me, I'm clean. I'm good. And I'm not getting, nobody's listening to my opinion. Nobody's listening to my suggestions. And, Super Duper is actually trying with me to get me some shit to, go on my own and be successful. None of it's working. So imagine all those failures, and you just kind of trapped in this success or this fame with family that you don't really want to be attached to. It's not that, you don't want to be a part of your family, but everybody's changing and nobody's listening to your opinion. You just the dumb character, and they literally treat you off of the character you portray on TV. So to continuously go through all that shit, it fucked with me. And shit, when '05 hit and I was able to talk on F&K and it was unfiltered and it was real, I think that brought new life to me and new life to XTV, because it was like an opinion being heard and a feeling being felt that never was there. And I was able to put it out there doing the Tony B voice. Sorry, I was able to put it out there, and that's what got me popular. And like, I had success just being myself. I didn't have to act no way. I didn't have to pretend to be nothing. That's why I would bash Pain so much on F&K. He a crackhead. He this. He that. He all that. Because that's just what it was. It's like, oh, I can say the complete truth. I can just, all that. And man, it was fun just talking shit about your ass. And I was shocked, man. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I knew, and going back to them F&K days, the early F&K, I knew about that shit. Like, I knew you ain't like me. I knew ain't nobody ain't like me. They was just hanging around because I was, successful. But I just was surprised at some of the things you would say, man. I mean, I didn't realize I hurt you that bad. I'm like, yeah, he hurt like it. I just kind of thought that all the people that I truly was hurting was hurt to an extent. You know what I mean? They ain't hurt enough to sell me out and say all this about me. Like, everybody's just hurt to a certain level. You was hurt to another level, man. You was like exposing shit I didn't want you to expose, saying shit I didn't want you to say, and it really fucked me up, man. I mean, I remember one time, I was gonna say I had nightmares. I'm gonna get back to that, but I had this crazy ass dream, man. It was like it was in the old days, man. It was like me and you, we was getting along. We was a lot more mature in this dream. I was like the age I was, when you were successful. And it was like the old days and we were successful doing what we used to do. And I woke up, man, played F&K, and you was cussing my ass out, man. I'm like, damn, it was all a dream. Guess I'll smoke some crack. You know what I'm saying? It was just a big relief. How did you react to this, Grandpa Joe? You know what I'm saying? I mean, your two grandsons just arguing and shit. You never know how far something gonna go until it climax. You never know. You see, ignorance that start off as innocence gonna always be more ignorant as it get older. Let me say that again. Ignorance at innocence, when it get older, it ain't gonna do nothing but grow more ignorant. You see, At a young age, I had them in my custody. And instead of instilling things in them like stop arguing over such and such, stop arguing over who killed the roach first before it attacked me, it wasn't going to attack me. Instead of saying let's stop arguing about this pettiness, let's be friends, let's have fun, let's go and play such and such, I instead said money. That arguing could make me money. That could be successful. And I remember when I was taking them out to shows and all that, and they wouldn't argue, and I was getting mad that they didn't argue. Cause I'm like, oh, y'all argue all the time at the house. Now y'all acting like a what you used to act like a cat, and he act like a mouse or whatever. I'm like, what the hell they doing? But it got an applause, and the audience liked it. And but still, they would still argue, and it was when Payne took that hit of shit that got him feeling a certain way, and the arguments got worse. Fast forward to 2005. I was hurt, you know what I mean, and surprised, and it's all my fault that this whole feud is going on. I'm putting it on me, There's a lot of points where y'all feud got out of hand, where I could have stepped foot and said it's getting too far, cut that shit out. But I didn't, and my wife, Miss Joe, God bless her heart, you know what I mean, bitter brain though. I feel like she just always played the sweet, nice lady or whatever. But, she wasn't going to step in. A man got to step in between two men arguing over nothing and tell them about real man shit instead of this little boy shit y'all arguing over. And I didn't do that. I got rich. But don't regret the time I spent with that money. Yeah, man, I just felt like I was just telling the truth. I was just getting that out. I was just getting the truth out, and it wasn't, I felt there wasn't nothing wrong with that. But then again, the way I was handling it was destroying our relationship even more than it was being destroyed. Him through substance and, all the different things that came with it. I wasn't watching what I was saying. I was just saying it. And it wasn't until, successfully it fucked with me where I realized, oh, the realization is I'm just talking shit, and it was crazy, man, But going to it, I'm sorry, man. We gonna get on track again. Athletically, Trunks, man, you was good, man, you know what I mean? And then when you was big Trunks, of course, that's when you was more a wrestler type of dude. Yeah, that was fun. And Big Trunks is like probably one of my favorite things that I've ever done to date. You know what I'm saying? But it's like it come a point where shit just kind of just, I don't know, man. I've been doing this for so long, and maybe you can call it making excuses, but I've been doing this for a long ass time, and I think that truthfully, my peak year as far as athleticism, as far as me being one of the best, is 2009. That's when we had the Legends of WrestleMania shit, and Bobby was on that shit, and we was like the top dudes on it. It was like I was like number 3. I think Killer was 2, and I think Bobby was 1. And that was my last peak year because I was being recognized for my athletic ability, and that shit meant a lot, man. And I continue to try to go hard. So where do you see it falling off for you? I did the story of my life up to that point, and up to the point in 2012. We just randomly did the story of my life, and it came out good. XTV East Coast actually really liked the shit. It's one of their favorite things that we uploaded this year. And I did the story of my life. And at the end of that recording, I said, I can fall off right at the end of this recording, but I still had a great life. And I meant that, but something told me. After I done said that, I feel like certain shit is just gonna happen. That's just gonna fuck. I just felt like some shit was gonna be crazy, And I fought William at Miami Beatdown, and I lost. And I'm like, how did I lose? But the fans still supported me. They still love Trunks. But it's just like everybody was just kind of like, wait a minute, how did he lose? Because I was the fans' hero at one point, and they believed in me enough to say, damn, you didn't lose. Like, what happened? And to date, I don't know what happened in that match, but shit, it happened. And then my match with Pain. Tore that ass up. I beat that ass right. That got his own story. Pain kicked my ass. Uh, he beat the career out of me. Yo. He made me retire from this shit and say I'm not doing it no more athletically. Like, I did not want to fight after our third match, and then of course after our fourth match at XTV Mania. I didn't want to fight no more. That Too Hot shit, the match with me and Too Hot at what that was, CAW. You know, I lost like that cause I was fucked up. I wasn't the same no more. You know what I mean? Age and getting my ass kicked by Pain, who was like, oh, you was like 24. You were like 24 years old with my ass, even though you like 50. I did not see those punches. I ain't know where them punches was coming from. I ain't know where none of that was coming from. I ain't know what to do. And I think I said it before. I was hitting them with elbows because I never did box, you know. But I hit him with an elbow because, like, that's my reaction. It's like, oh, nigga, you gonna hit me? Okay, boom. That's how I did it. Not thinking about the rules. I lost myself getting punched that many times. And I want to say it's a combination of age and Pain beating the fuck out of me that destroyed me athletically, you know. And I want to say the fans, I'm seeing them diminish. I don't care what nobody say after this recording, but I'm seeing, a lot of people that just not for me. They booed the shit out of me one time. They probably don't even remember. Shut up, yo. But I'm just noticing a big, decrease as far as, fanfare for me and people celebrating me because I was one of their heroes. And some of the things I've done, you know, outside of being an athlete, like going to jail, cursing motherfuckers out, saying these things I was saying, doing outrageous shit I was doing, pissing on the, excuse me, but pissing inside the damn jails, man, and shitting all over the damn place. Like, what's up with that? You know what I'm saying? I don't know, Faz. I don't know. Maybe I do need to go to a psychiatrist or something. And I want to make mention of like, I mean, because I feel like a lot is deteriorated with you. Like, not just athletic wise, but even, excuse me, even mental, like mentality, like even that is deteriorated, as well as your physical, cause on the later F and K episodes, I just remember you used to just go out of nowhere, and I used to be like, you need to talk to a psychiatrist. And we tried to get you help on a few episodes, but it never truly worked. And I just want to just put it out there that, I don't care what nobody say to this, but I'm gonna say it. I'm living this every day. I truly have reached a downfall as far as everything in XTV. Only thing that can save me is a project, like Can This Family Live Without Drama? But, that's in a bit of, not production hell like the Cosby Show, but it still is, is something going on with it that, is going to take a lot of time. But that's the only thing that can save me. I can't get in the ring no more. I can't do it. Athletically, I have been beaten to a level that I've never been beaten before. And, I can't get back in there. I can't do it, you know, because if I do it, it would be a disservice to myself. I could try to train, I could try to do all this, but at the end of the day, if it's not truly in my heart and not truly what I see myself doing, I'm not going to do it, and I'm going to ultimately fail, doing that. So I'm just saying it now, athletically, I'm done. I'm officially retired from the ring. It's not fun, man. And I think that's the safest thing to do. You know what I mean? Because you already see the scars that you done. You don't want no more scars. You already healing from a very few. So don't even call this a retirement. You can even call it a hiatus, baby. Call it a hiatus and take your time to let your mental wounds heal, your physical, your emotional. You've been through a lot. Joe told me about y'all history. You've been through a lot. And I think you need to just take time, get a pillow, listen to some Anita Baker, and rest. That's all you truly need to do. Yeah, man. I don't want to say you should rule out a comeback. Nobody should ever do that. Nobody should ever be like, I'm officially done, man. Fuck this shit. You can have a bad 2 years, 3 years, decade. Uh, y'all, we back. Um, I just want to say I strongly agree with Mary May, man, and everybody that done talked. Oh shit, I cut you off, Pain. It's all good. It's all good, man. Yeah, man. I think I pretty much, had to say what I had to say. You can have a bad, long ass time. You gotta understand where I came from. You know what I'm saying? When I got hooked on that shit, I lost sight of myself, of my whereabouts. I used to wake up like, how the fuck am I in New Mexico? You know what I mean? I ain't never been to Old Mexico. I done traveled. I done seen this and seen that, but I'm too high to remember what I seen. You know, I used to get lost, man. I was lost. You know what I'm saying? Like in life and with the substance. You know what I'm saying? And it went on for years, and that cost me my fans, man. That cost me a lot, and as a result, I had nothing except for an addiction that I tried to scrap up whatever money I could to get that, fixed. And for me to come from having nothing, like no mind, no recollection of where I've been before, where I'm at now, to be here, you know what I'm saying? I'm back, and where I once was loved, and getting new love and old love as well from being back, and being sober. So it ain't no such thing as you can't never come back. You done. You washed up. The true people that's done and washed up are the people that killed themselves, because they done. They killed themselves. They ain't here no more. You know what I'm saying? They ain't here to try to come back. You know what I'm saying? And you ain't at that stage, man. You still alive. You still got faith, man. You still got energy. You still talk shit. You just need to just take time and heal, baby. Like Mary May just said. Don't call me baby. Yo, well said, well put, well put. I mean, but at the same time, yo, I'm about to sneeze. Oh, you good? Nigga, you good? Excuse me, I don't know what the fuck going on with my damn nostrils, but yeah, like I think it's like what you said at the same time. I mean, you don't want to disgrace a sport, or like, man, look, even if he do come back, Mac Anthony, like even if he do come back and it's a complete failure, you shouldn't have got your fat ass back in the ring. Even if it is something like that, it tells the story, man. You know what I'm saying? It's like you didn't completely give up with a bag of Cheetos, you know what I'm saying, being sad about your life and remembering the good times. It's like you was trying to come back. You was trying to accomplish something. No matter how many times people tell you you a failure, you suck, you ain't this, you ain't that, the more times you get to prove them when it's that comeback time. People mark me off as done. and finished. And I'm telling you, Trunks, I'm telling you, brother, you can take your ass out there and you can lose a whole lot, but you can win more than what you lose. The times you lose. Word, real shit, real shit. I feel where all y'all coming from. Bite my nail too. It's contagious. But the fact of the matter is, man, you know, watching my mentor with Too Hot, with Justin and the guys on Xtv East Coast, when we was watching that shit, and we was laughing as hard as we was, not trust me. That's not saying this match is one of the worst. This shit is easily one of the funniest matches of 2013. This shit damn near killed me, like, with laughter, seriously, because of how sorry I was in the match. It's that funny, but seeing that shit, I'm not looked at as one of the great athletes. I'm able to make people laugh because I'm sorry. Little shit like that. And it's like, oh no, I'm gonna need to take some time off. Like, I ain't gonna immediately come back, And I guess that is best for me, a hiatus. But yeah, this definitely is a hiatus, until further notice. I ain't doing this shit no more, man. I ain't getting in the ring. I might talk shit here and there, but I'm playing the background for a little while, ladies and gentlemen. I'm announcing it. Justin's my great friend, but truthfully, he did say something the other day that really struck me. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if he was being serious. I don't know if he was being funny. Sometimes it's hard. It's fuck to tell. You know what I mean? What you doing? But honestly, he was just saying some shit like, yeah, man, Trunks, you lost everything. You lost me as a friend. You lost this. He went on his rant, and I don't even remember what I said. But keep in mind, I'm Trunks. I always say some shit. So I don't know what I said to make him say all this shit. But he went in on my ass. Like, it was like a real, like, you fucked up. You stupid. You sorry. I'm not your friend. Nobody supports you. And it made me think, like, damn, I did all that. And I'm not on drugs. I'm not doing nothing crazy. I was bullshitting the other day when I'm like, I'm on ecstasy. I was fucking around. It was a joke. You know what I'm saying? But if that's how he truly feel, and he wasn't like, bullshitting. Like, that's why I say it's hard to tell. I don't know if you was bullshitting or not, but honestly, it made me take a second look at myself like, fuck, am I at the top and I'm, causing this much stress amongst my friends, my peers and shit? And if it's that bad, damn, I don't want to be, like, known like that. I don't want the spotlight to be on me when I'm kind of, on a downside, if you will. And so, that's just how I feel about that. Honestly, I just think that it's best to play the background. Hear you wounds. You gotta understand. Wording is very important. If you say, I'm gonna take a break, people gonna look at that as washed up. They gonna talk all that. Man, let them talk, Mary May. Let them talk. They gonna talk in the papers calling him washed up, all that. But let them talk. Cause them the same people that's gonna either praise him when he come back on his up and up, or not say a damn thing. The people that's talking shit now don't mean nothing later. They gonna be completely irrelevant on your road to success. No matter what they don't say or do say. That's just what it is. They gonna not be listening if they still talking shit, or they ain't gonna say nothing. That's just what it is. So, Trunks, this is your grandpa telling you, just take your time, okay, to come back. You had a ugly downfall. I'm gonna say it. You gonna say it. We all probably gonna say it. It was ugly. But take time to heal and then come back. And honestly, man, that's what take the longest, is the time to heal and heal yourself, because you heal in your brain. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna put this out there. You know, we kind of want to keep it to ourselves, but I'm the pain. I talk too damn much. We been doing this every other day diet, man. You know what I'm saying? And we started this last week, and it's fully been a week, and it's going on 2 weeks. But let me just tell you, Wednesday we were supposed to eat. Thursday we were supposed to not eat. We got hungry as fuck Thursday. You know what I'm saying? So we ate 2 days in a row, and we supposed to just eat every other day. Upset after we ate, we finally said, man, we fucked up. And instead of giving up, we said, fuck that shit. And we've been fasting since yesterday, and we doing it today. We ain't eating. We just drinking a lot of drinks. You know what I'm saying? And so a whole lot of people, are kind of saying the same shit. You know what I mean? Like, oh man, you big, you gotta eat. You big, you gotta eat. And it's like, what people don't understand is when you going through something like this, a cleansing. You know what I'm saying? Trying to lose weight and all that shit. It's like it's a mental exercise. You know what I'm saying? You gotta tell yourself you can do it, and you gotta, sometimes fuck that shit. You gotta punish your damn self. You know what I'm saying? Shouldn't have took that far off of that motherfucker plate. You know? It's little shit like that, and it's not like punishing, but it's like instilling in you, like, no, live a healthy lifestyle. Don't eat so much. Don't do this so much. That's what it's just instilling that in your brain. And this day two, and shit, what time it is? Hold on, so I can tell you. It's 3:34. We can't eat until tomorrow. Imagine the we ain't even going through pain, man. It's just like, it's so different. And it almost don't hurt. It feels rewarding. Can't explain it yet. Can't explain it. But anyways, what I was saying with that, Trunks, is, mentally, it's gonna take you a while to fix yourself, because you got it start up there. And shit, when I was on my whole shit, going back to me, I ain't trying to be Oprah Winfrey. Think about it. I just I thought about it, and I still don't get it. Get your little ass out of here. It took like 4 or 5 months for me to finally realize I'm back, and I'm fully ready and prepared. You know what I'm saying? I was completely washed out of Xtv East Coast and West. And I had to realize that, and I had to like just take time and think and, really study my mind and study where I was at with substance and everything. And once I finally got my mind to focus on what I needed to do, it it became a lifestyle. At first it was a thought, and then it was an added lifestyle, and now it's my everyday life, man. Eating healthy, reading positive thoughts and all these different things. To some people it might be corny, it might be this, but then the same motherfuckers that's gonna either suffer from some type of fucked up shit or suffering from some fucked up shit. And it ain't about them, man. It ain't about allowing no negativity. Everything around you got to be positive. You know what I'm saying? And if it's the ugliest, corniest quote, still read it. It's going to manifest itself in, a more creative way. It was just there for right there because we were still working on it. So you under construction, keep working on you. It's going to take months, but build you, nigga. Well, yo, this was a crazy little podcast. You know what I'm saying? We just wanted to just drop this shit. But yeah. Halloween is this damn Monday. I was about to say Friday. It's this Monday, and I'm dressing up in a t-shirt with designs. That's right. That's gonna be my costume. That's scary. I'm gonna be a naked person. I'm going to be Jazz. Seriously, man, I'm just going to be pushing carts and not giving a fuck. You know what I mean? You better have a tight costume to get me to care. And if it's a creepy clown out that motherfucker when I'm working, staring at my ass, I swear, man, I'm going to look at your ass back.